Surface EMG records signals of the muscles during activity, and in this research, we tested the muscle recruitment of the wrist extensors and wrist flexors using different contraction types. Those contraction types were isometric, concentric, and eccentric contraction. Wrist flexor and extensor muscle activity is important to know in order to compare to other diseases that may affect it and for determining rehabilitation methods and orthotic use. I hypothesized that the contraction type that allowed for maximal volume contraction would be the concentric contraction for both the wrist extensors and the wrist flexors. 8 subjects were used in this study, all from the 2021 Doctorate of Physical Therapy class at Regis University. They ranged from 22 to 30 years of age. They had to have an interest in participating, but none of them could have any injuries or open wounds, any previous participation in other parts of the lab, or any allergies. The methods of this research included using manual resistance to determine where the 6 electrodes would be placed on the participant. To test for the isometric contraction, we used a 5-pound weight and it was held for 10 seconds. When we tested for the concentric and eccentric contraction types, it involved moving the wrist through its range of motion for 5 seconds, starting in a supine position for the wrist flexors and a pronated position for the wrist extensors. The results showed that the hypothesis was supported and the wrist extensors and wrist flexors had the most muscle recruitment during concentric contraction. Overall, this research is necessary to understanding which contraction type will influence the muscles the most so that we can understand how to develop them or how to rehabilitate them properly. EMG software is a beneficial way of testing this muscle activity, and it allows us to see the best ways of positioning, as well as that contraction type used in the hand, arm, and upper extremity. And it is important for rehabilitation because one study showed that there was more wrist flexor activation during the orthotic use because of an increased effort from straining against it. This is important to know just so that we understand how the orthotics use and how to best rehabilitate that upper extremity. This research also provides us information and comparison of this muscle activity to the muscle activity and recruitment we see in certain diseases such as hemiplegic cerebral palsy. Overall, this research can be very beneficial to understanding muscle activity of the arm, and it can be widely used in clinic.